Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for allowing me to wave on. And thank you, Chief Schultz. I really appreciate you testifying today, especially as we enter into fire season. In my home district of central and eastern Montana, significant drought over the last year threatens to bring about major fire risks this summer. And according to last month's assessment from USDA's Natural Resource Conservation Service, snowpack in our mountain regions ranges between 50 and 75% of normal levels. So given these elevated risk conditions, can you elaborate on the steps the Forest Service has taken to optimize its readiness for this year's fire season?
Mr. Downing, Mr. Chairman, as bleak as Montana looks, it's probably the best state in the West for snowpack, to be honest with you. Just put Utah in perspective. If Ms. Malloy was here, she would tell you, Utah is between like 0 and 6%. That's how bad the Wasatch is, the front there. But what we have done, I've articulated previously, but we have brought on to date more than 11,000 firefighters, which were about 5% ahead of where we were over the last 2 years at this point in time. We've red carded an additional 450 non-fire personnel to support the firefighting mission. So we have right now, we have more than 10,000 non-fire personnel red carded to fight fire. We also have over 11,000 firefighters on board right now today. So we've got all of those resources available to us to fight fire as we sit today. We have our agreements in place with all the states, including Montana, and we've got a very good relationship with the DNRC. We're actively working with them. There were some issues several years ago that the governor had pointed out. We've worked with the governor directly, and I think we're prepared in Montana this year. We saw the fire in Red Lodge. I think you actually visited that fire. Yeah. And if you've seen the initial attack that we're taking, we're being very aggressive. We're being safe with our firefighters, but we're making sure that we protect communities.
Well, I appreciate that. And how do you believe the President Trump's fiscal year 27 budget, his request supports these efforts?
So for sure, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Downing, the President's budget in fiscal year 27 actually has the unification in that. So the Forest Service and the Department of Interior, that shifts the fire program from the Forest Service to Department of Interior. We've had discussions about a study being done. We've seen in the House version of the bill, the budget bill for 27, I think the House is, at least it appears to me that they're going to wait until the study's done before they would propose moving that. So the President's budget definitely moves forward in a way to unify the firefighting program, but also as we're making allowances for this study, and we're going to study this and bring this forward.
I appreciate those answers. In your testimony, I really appreciated your emphasis on the importance of working with state partners. I've seen that work great, and I really appreciate that. So earlier this year, the state of Montana entered into a landmark 20-year shared stewardship agreement with the Forest Service to help manage the Flathead, Kootenai, and Bitterroot National Forests. And I'd like to thank you for your support in brokering this critical partnership with our state. And can you elaborate on the role that Good Neighbor Authority agreements play in the Forest Service's management strategy under your leadership?
Yeah, Mr. Downing, Mr. Chairman, it's monumental what we've done in Montana. It's the first of its kind. So not only are we leaning on Good Neighbor agreements, so typically with Good Neighbor, the federal government, the Forest Service would design projects and then hand them to the state to implement those projects. So Sean Thomas is the state forester in Montana. Sean and I had a discussion a year and a half ago, and he said, the Helena, Lewis, and Clark gave us 100 acres to manage this year. He said, I can't possibly run a program managing 100 acres. So we sat down and we talked about this. What do we need to do? So instead of waiting for the Forest Service to design projects, and this is going to happen in Montana, the state is going to manage landscapes. They're going to manage up to 300,000 acres. They're not going to wait for the Forest Service to design projects and hand them to the state. The state is going to be the active manager of those lands. So the state can staff accordingly, they can plan accordingly, but they're going to be driving that, working alongside with us. So that's the change there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I've spent a lot of time with Sean Thomas as a former land commissioner. I appreciate all that good work. So why are state, local, and tribal partners such important assets in the management of Forest Service land?
Mr. Downing, Mr. Chairman, why they're so important is they're local, they're on the ground, they know the landscape, they know the people. The legislature has interest in what we do in the various states. It makes sense. We need additional capacity, and the states have that capacity. They have the interest, and it's the way we should be doing things. We've done this in fire for 50 years. We have all of these cooperative agreements in fire where we work together to fight fire across state in federal lands, and we have all of these master agreements. It's basically taking that same model and applying it on the land management side. It's the right thing to do. It makes sense. The states have the interest and the capacity and the expertise to do the work.
Well, I really appreciate your work there. I appreciate your comments. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, so on that, Mr. Chair, I yield.